took up this issue about what to do about cryptocurrencies and the whole market. Again, this view in Washington that it's gotten to be a rogue investment, a dangerous investment, and with a big exchange essentially going out of business and on the brink in the case of another one. Senators on both sides of the aisle want to do something about it. I had a chance to speak with Kirsten Gillibrand, the Democratic New York senator, also Cynthia Lummis, the Republican Wyoming senator, who were talking up the possibility of getting regulation going that works. Take a look. Do you think crypto technology, crypto investments are worth it?
So I believe that this bill is the sweet spot between allowing innovation and an industry to continue to grow and thrive, but also creating consumer protections, creating know your customer requirements.
We looked at what went wrong with FTX and other failures and filled those gaps and loopholes. So we're ready to go. And the current regulations are simply inadequate, Neil.
All right, we're ready to go, and the current regulations are inadequate. Brock Pierce with you right now, one of my favorite guests on this show, the Bitcoin Foundation chairman, was a third-party presidential candidate. You know all about that. Also a Hollywood star, and not too many years ago. Brock, what do you make of Washington now moving in on this court case, setting up the sort of tableau for this? What do you think?
Well, I mean, first of all, there are many parts of Washington. You've got different agencies all vying for power, whether it be the SEC, the CFTC, and these debates have been going on as to who is the right regulatory body to regulate the industry, or should a new regulatory body be formed in light of the fact that this is pretty modern technology, and we're talking about laws in some cases that are nearly 100 years old that predate the internet by a long shot. One thing that's worth noting that just happened moments ago, one of the other major cryptocurrencies, Ripple, or otherwise known as XRP, the SEC had charged them a major case going on, and XRP just won in their case against the SEC. This is an incredible event, a very important precedent of the SEC losing the biggest case that's been running for years, deeming that XRP and the trades and transactions that have occurred are not securities, which I think is really the most important thing as we're looking at what's happening here with Coinbase. Very big deal.
But it probably is, Brock, but to your point, I mean, that hasn't stopped Washington. And again, it depends on what part of Washington you're looking at. But with both parties seemingly united on trying to do something about this, it's almost like their AI involvement. Be careful what you wish for, you might get it. What do you think they'll come up with?
Well, hopefully the right thing. As you saw, the bipartisan support in the Senate in a new proposal of, call it sensible regulation, right? And necessary. Unfortunately, I'm embarrassed by a lot of the things that I've seen happen in the industry. Examples like Sam Bankman-Fried and what we've seen with FTX and Celsius and BlockFi, and the list goes on and on. As someone that has been a huge evangelist and advocate for the incredible potential to create a better world, to support life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as a believer in the fundamental power of this technology, I'm embarrassed by a lot of the events that have occurred and the bad actors, and clearly that has brought, made regulation the topic of discussion. So I just pray it's something sensible, something that allows America to continue to be the leader, the capital of innovation in the world, and certainly with financial technology. Imagine if the credit card had been invented by China or Russia. Imagine if the internet had been invented, so on and so forth. This is very important to our collective future.
I always think, too, and I raise this with both the Republican and the Democratic senator here, no matter what mechanisms we set up here to police this technology doesn't mean that the price can't be affected by those who are working abroad. So will it do any good?
Well, I mean, that's one of the things we've seen is when the SEC had gone after Coinbase and named a number of other cryptocurrencies that were burning tokens is really what is why they selected them. What did Hong Kong do the next day? Hong Kong effectively invited all of those organizations to effectively relocate in a market that is going to support the things that they're doing, recognizing these as legitimate assets. And so this is the Chinese government saying we don't want this necessarily in mainland China, but since the U.S. has taken this position, we want to make sure that we're the safe haven to capture and attract all of this innovation, all this economic development, all this future sort of a finance, and to bring it into Hong Kong. And so this is, we live in a global world right now, and the decisions we make are going to affect our future, and it's going to determine which countries are the winners and losers. And so it's very important. I'm glad that this is a topic that the American people are continuing to listen to, and over 10% of the American public has a stake in this, and these are single-issue voters. They care deeply about this, and they are likely going to make their opinions known in the upcoming elections.
Yeah, absolutely. Next time I have you, Brock, I'd love to get your thoughts on the upcoming election, because there's already a push by this No Labels group to come up with an alternative candidate if it's Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. So I hope I can get you back to talk about that, since you've been through that mill. Brock Pierce, the Bitcoin Foundation chairman. We were going through a lot of these crypto investment guys, and Bitcoin itself over $30,000 a coin. So if this is unnerving the markets, at least the crypto markets, certainly a funny way of showing it.